Mike McCool here in the Royal Examiner studio, and with me today is Barney Stine. If you're from around Front Royal, you know you probably run across Barney in his pre-retirement days, but right now he's active with AMVETS in the Post 18 out of Stevens City.
That's correct.
And they've been doing a lot of things that they normally do, the AMVETS and their community activities and helping people out, and from American flags to veteran VA benefits. But here recently, they did a Ukrainian relief effort. Barney, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you did and how it all turned out?
Several members of our organization decided that it would be good for us to support the Ukrainian refugee relief effort. And in doing so, we felt that we could best help them out by collecting funds locally from our organization as well as other organizations that wanted to participate. And we recently made a contribution to the Ukrainian church here in Front Royal of $750 that will go directly to provide aid to the refugees coming out of Ukraine and going into Poland and other places. We plan to continue that effort and looking for other ways to supplement those monies that we've already collected.
Right. $750 doesn't sound like a lot, but that goes a long way. And you put that money with hundreds of other organizations doing it, it adds up to real money.
Well, one of the things that AMVETS recognizes is that by doing something like this, other organizations can jump in and say,
sure,
can we partner with you?
And they do, don't they? They do.
Absolutely, they do.
Because sometimes they just need somebody to spearhead it and have contacts. I mean, AMVETS has a lot of good government contacts, excuse me. They're congressionally chartered by Congress. I mean, I guess that's what a congressional commission is, but and they do a lot of great work. I know primarily, you want to do with your vets, but their community, they're in the community a lot, that you see a lot of that kind of services. Tell us about this relief effort here. You raised this money. It's kind of, we've done a couple stories on the local Ukrainian church. You went, that's like out of sight, out of mind. We were just shocked that we had a church right here in Front Royal. In fact, the governor came last month and did prayer at their church. So that was an interesting thing. He snuck in quietly and didn't alert the press to it. He just wanted to go in there and let them know of his, that he's supporting that operation. You mentioned flags. We have flags at our house, and it got torn in the wind, and we're not just supposed to wad these things up and throw them in the trash.
That's correct.
We have the Flag Act, and there's a way to properly recognize and dispose of these things, and that's something that AMVETS does.
Yes, AMVETS collects tattered and damaged flags from individuals. We have a drop at our post, and people can actually bring the flags there. And then at least annually on Flag Day, we have what is called a flag retirement ceremony, whereby we follow all the required protocol in terms of destruction of tattered flags. And so many people just don't know where to go. They know they need to do something, but they don't know where to go to help them with that need that they have. So.
Well, we'll put that information here below the story where they can get hold of your post, and maybe that'll drum up some, because I know I have one to send you. But you hate to, it's the flag. I think people we don't realize we have the Flag Act, and there's rules and regulations of how to hang it, how to dispose of it. We're not really supposed to make garments and wear them, and but people do. You see people wearing the flags all over things.
Exactly.
And really, it's not as respectful as they do it, because they're trying to be respectful as far as be patriotic, but really it's not really respecting the flag like they should. And I think we need to be a little more aware of what we really should be doing and how we treat our flag.
That really dovetails nicely into another thing that AMVETS does, and that is nationally we have a program whereby we recognize individuals and businesses that fly the American flag in an appropriate fashion. and there are certain requirements to flying a flag. And we will go out into the community, and where we notice an American flag being flown, we will look at that and determine if they would qualify for a recognition. We recently did one in December with the Frederick County Sheriff's Department, and we will be doing one at our next meeting on the second Wednesday of this month, or third Wednesday of this month, with individuals, and these will be the first civilians we've ever recognized for flying the flag in an appropriate fashion.
Right. That's, you said appropriate. I know that, people put their flags out, they just leave them up day and night and don't realize that if you're going to leave that up at night, you need to put a light on it.
That's correct. The people that we're recognizing this month, they have a solar light.
Right, that's what I did. I put one on mine, so I fly it 24/7. But I put I put a solar light on it, so it comes on at dusk. And here lately, the governor, I mentioned Governor Youngkin again. He submitted, we're flying the flag at half staff. People say, "Why is the flag down?" Well, there's always a reason, and typically, to honor a fallen. Like this last one is a police officer that got killed in the line of duty.
That's correct.
He had a day where the flag was flown at half staff for him, and you'll see a lot of things, the first responders and things locally, that the flag will get flown down. So it's something that's an honor.
It is.
Those flags, we put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears under those flags, and
Undoubtedly.
we want to make sure that that's a recognition. A lot of things that the AMVETS do that maybe some of the other organizations might not be known as, that they also do, but maybe not as, and that's the work with the VA.
Yes.
Kind of things that
We have a very good working relationship with the VA, primarily at the VA Medical Center in Martinsburg, because we're so close, and many of our members participate in the VA health system and receive a lot of medical care there. In addition to just thinking that you would check into the hospital if you had a problem, they offer things, and we help veterans connect with this, things such as hearing tests, and these are all done at no charge to the veteran. Vision tests, and whereby you can get your vision checked and a pair of glasses at least once every 2 years.
Right. And you don't have to be 65 years old to get these benefits.
That's correct.
That's right. And I noticed the AMVETS, you work with the National Guard and the reserves and the active and the retired and just veterans in general. I mean, so that's a little different. I know like the VFW, that's a veteran of a foreign war, so
that's correct.
And their memberships are dwindling because we have
not as many of them.
Not as many as we had, and so. But they all do good work, and there's a lot of good information. But the VA is something that really veterans should take advantage of.
Absolutely, there's some tremendous benefits within the VA. So many people think that it's bureaucratically it's difficult. I personally did it on the phone and did it in about 20 minutes,
right.
And I was enrolled in the health system and started receiving benefits right away.
Right.
So.
And I noticed that a lot of people think that the VA is of substandard health care, but a lot of things have changed in the last 20 or 30 years, and it's a first-class operation.
It really
is.
is.
I mean, they specialize in things that regular hospitals don't when it comes to acts of war, where injuries of war that you typically don't see. The amputations and the rehabilitations. I mean, that is their specialty. But they also, they carry from A to Z. I know people that had their heart transplant, heart operations and knee replacements, and just about anything and everything that happens. So if you're a veteran, you got to check into see what kind of benefits you have, especially if you have any financial need. They're there to help.
They are certainly there to help, and a big program that they have there is their pharmacy. I mean,
that's something.
Many veterans, will pay tremendous co-payments or have to pay full price for certain
Right.
medications, and yet they can save substantially
Well,
by using the pharmacy in the VA.
Well, they look at it and think, oh, well, I didn't retire from the military. That won't apply to me. But you can just take out the benefits that you can qualify for and can use. And it's best, and they can help, and the AMVETS can help steer you in the right direction.
AMVETS is not, we don't fall under the auspices of the VA, but we channel a lot of referrals to the VA.
Yeah, yeah.
And
You have a guy that knows the system, right?
we have several guys that know the system quite well
Yeah.
and how to navigate that
Yeah,
system.
and that's important, to lead you through those things to do. But I know that all the organizations, we don't realize all the things they do. AMVETS especially, you guys you're pretty low key. You're not out there. It's been a while getting somebody in to come talk to me about any of the veteran organizations because they don't really want to blow their own horn, and they kind of just keep it below the radar and just go do what they need to do. And but it's important, I think, to let veterans know that these services exist, and they're not. It's just not all fun and games. There's community service. There's and the camaraderie of a common bond.
Yes.
At the military of all branches, as you well know, we have that.
We have a program within our planning. It's called Out of the Darkness, and that is designed to bring awareness to suicide prevention and suicide intervention.
That's a big problem with veterans right now.
It is. It's a tremendous problem with veterans.
Homelessness and depression and suicides are way up there on the list.
Yeah. So we have various events that we have that draws attention to that. We have veterans who are in crisis who will come to those events, and as a matter of fact, we've acquired a couple of new members as a result of that because they felt that we were helping them directly.
Right.
So
Yeah, so there are people out there that want to help you, and if you're a veteran, National Guard, reservist, active duty, retired, I mean, if you've served your time and got your discharge, you should be checking out these organizations because, there is that bond, and you kind of get caught up to it after you got out. I spent 12 years in the military, and you kind of like lose touch with a lot of people, but there is still that bond even after, I want to say, 50 years. You still have a common bond with fellow veterans.
you do indeed.
Yeah.
And many of our members, I mean, they know specifically what their service number is, even though they may have been given that number 40, 50, 60 years ago. So it's you're right about that. And really, AMVETS is, and other organizations, but AMVETS in particular, is a place where people can really kind of come together and share some common experiences and
no judgment.
No judgment, absolutely none.
Yeah.
No.
We're all one. Yeah.
Indeed we are.
Well, it's great, and I know you have a lot of things, and we're going to be putting some of your stories on the Royal Examiner, some of the community things you've done. Please send those to me when you get them. We'd like to share them to the community because people do appreciate all the work that your organization does, plus others. So it's kind of an unsung hero type thing, but really heroes at work. That's really what people like that serve our community, serve the people that are just not getting served, and veterans are one of them.
Yeah, they certainly are. And many of them feel alone and sort of left out. And hopefully, one of our programs, if not more, will help them.
You hear, we were Vietnam era veterans, and you heard about the veterans that came back from the Gulf area were heroes, and the ones that came back from Vietnam were spit on. And so a big change in our culture and our communities, and people are coming around and realizing everybody went and did what needed to be done, and take the politics out of it. I think that's what we got to do. So
I agree.
We do that, but I think it's great, and we're seeing that they're starting to come around, and the opinions have changed. People have realized that the politics need to go away when it comes to helping our veterans. They did what they were called upon to do, and that's what we need. We need them. So and we're going to help Ukraine. They're going to have a lot of veterans that can
Yeah.
think what their citizenry is doing. I mean, they picked up arms and
It's just an amazing, amazing response that we've seen. And fortunately, there's enough in the way of media that gets out of that
Sure,
region
sure.
that we're able to see. And
they're
they've
not gonna-
responded extremely well.
they're not going to crawl away. I think they're going to
I
stand
don't think
up.
there's any quit in those people.
No, that's not in that. That four-letter word is not the one they're using. Well,
Right.
Barney, again, I appreciate you coming in and talking to me, and
Yes.
keep us posted on things. And
I will certainly do that,
We'll
Mike.
put these links below the story and let people can check on and check out your post. That's AMVETS Post 18. They're in Stephen City. It's a great thing that you do and all the veterans do, and we appreciate that.
People can look us up real easy. It's amvetspost18.com.
Can't beat it. Or amvets.org for the national organization, so it's easy to find. Again, Barney, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.